This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining. Today is day 3 of our DevOps course. So yesterday we are discussing about what is cloud computing, and we were about to start the benefits of cloud. So it's a certification topic. So let me quickly share my screen. If my voice is clear and if you can see the screen properly, just give me a thumbs up. Thank you. Thanks for the confirmation. So yes, so today also we are going to discuss about the cloud related aspect. So irrespective of Azure or AWS, this is common. So yesterday I was talking about like what is the challenge in on-premises and how we overcome using the cloud. The same thing, but we are going to discuss few details in depth. So first of all, flexibility and scalability. So what is this flexibility and scalability? So this is what I explained with an example yesterday. That is when I want to have a application with hundreds of users, then I need only 2 to 3 machines. If I'm planning to run an application where the end user will be in thousands or 10K or 100K kind of thing, then obviously the number of machines needed for the application to run will increase. So I can increase or decrease my computing or storage based upon the need of my business. So that flexibility, I'll get it in cloud. So to make this done, I don't need to do any upfront investment. So whenever it is needed, say tomorrow I have a situation where I will get a lot of users, then today I can go and bring up the number of instances. I can add more servers to my business. If in case 3 days I had a good volume, then in the fourth day the number of users reduced. Then in case I don't need that much of machines, right? So obviously I can bring down the number of machines. That is, I can delete the machines and I can keep only the machine which is needed for me. So that flexibility I can achieve in the cloud environment. So no upfront investment I'm going to do. Next thing would be my compliance. So it's compliance, security, or the additional you have to take care when you are going into the this infrastructure world. So usually what will happen is you will have a separate SMEs. So they will be dedicatedly working for this. They should be the subject matter expert in terms of the security, in terms of the compliance needed for your business. So you need a separate person there. But in cloud, especially in Azure, we have a feature dedicatedly available called compliance feature. So using that feature, Azure itself is thinking on behalf of you, and they're saying, oh, you are from a banking customer side, then these are the things you should have. You are from the finance customer side, then these are the things you should have. So the inbuilt compliance features are available. Even security wise also, you don't need to be a person who knows all these security aspects. There are readily available features there. By using this user interface, you can easily control the security aspects. And next thing is backup. This is the important thing because everything is data, right? Like whatever we are communicating is data. Like I'm talking to you, it's a data. You are listening to the session, that itself a data. So these data needs to be preserved, needs to be stored somewhere, and there should be a backup also should be there. Like if something goes wrong, for example, I'm sharing some document to you. Accidentally, it is just or mistakenly, it is deleted. Doesn't mean that once it is deleted, it's no more available. it should be there in somewhere else. It should be there in my laptop. It should be there in my phone. So that if somebody asks in the future, I should be in a position to share it again. So backup is really needed, especially on the data side. So those backup feature are available in the cloud. So usually in the on-premises, we do lot of discussion to take backup because it's an additional storage cost you have to pay. In your physical infrastructure, already you have lot of storage space occupied for a regular business. So backup also you cannot keep in the same building. So worst scenario, what will happen is if the entire building is down because of flood or any other electrical disaster has happened, so the entire floor itself is down, it's gone. Then your data should not be lost. Your business should not be disturbed. So backup means it should be somewhere else, which is away from your regular business storage area. So that is the ideal meaning of this backup aspect. So those backups, it's pretty easy in the cloud environment. So every cloud provider, they have very good backup option. That is DR options are available. Disaster recovery, they have a plan, like there's a separate flow itself. So that is the main feature. People are moving towards this cloud. And next thing is monitoring. So usually this is the extra work for any infra person, that is more than providing an infrastructure, more than installing any software or deploying a server. Maintenance is something like monitoring is something they have to do as an additional task. Those days we used to write a lot of scripts, alarms and all we used to create. If this server is not working fine, then send a mail to these people. If this application is not working, send to these set of people. Lot of effort we put in terms of monitoring. But now monitoring, it's like a takeaway for anybody. Like you don't need to spend a lot of effort there. There are features, inbuilt features available in every cloud provider. In Azure itself, you have this Azure monitoring feature, which will help us to monitor our infrastructure, to monitor exactly what is happening, whether it is deviating from our expected thing, then you will get an alarm automatically. So that we can do. Finally, optimize the cost. That is, you are going to spend which is needed for your activity. I can hear my voice back. If there is no question, I can see somebody has joined. Could you please go on mute? Fine, thank you. So that is the main thing here. So optimize the cost. So these are the benefits of cloud. So now you can ask me like why you are elaborating this thing, right? You will get a question in your certification related to this. That's the reason like I was explaining this. So I'm going to project my screen like where I was discussing about this certification question, right? So you itself can answer now, because that's the reason like why we are taking like a full story kind of thing, so that in future if you come across the certification question, you can answer by yourself. There is no need like you have to sit back and prepare separately. If you attend the sessions, you'll come to know. So this is one of the question: which of the following is not a benefit of cloud computing? So there are options they have provided: is cost saving, high upfront investment, scalability, and flexibility. So we have discussed this, that it's like they're asking, this is the keyword you have to see properly. That is not a benefit. That is the one they're asking. So cost saving, it is a benefit because what you are going to use, for that only you are going to pay. So it is a cost effective. So this is not the answer. Scalability. As I told you, whenever I'm in need, I can increase the machines. If I don't want, I can decrease the machines. So scalability and flexibility both are advantage of the cloud computing. So then what we are left with, this one, high upfront investment. So you're not going to invest anything here. You're going to create one subscription and you're going to start using those resources from cloud provider, and you're going to get the bill for what you have used. Upfront, you're not investing anything here. This physical infrastructure maintenance, the data center maintenance, and all done by the cloud providers itself, like Azure and Amazon. So the answer is high upfront investment. So this is how your question is going to be. You're not going to dedicatedly spend some time on certifications, because if you understand the concept, you can answer this question. So in today's topic, I'll be covering few more uh, certification related topics, then we will see the questions related to that also. So you will get an idea how your certification exam would be. So that's the reason, like I would say, you can clear it if you understand the concept and if you follow the labs. That is, lab is for 104. AC 900, if you listen to the class itself, is more than sufficient to clear it. So now let me take you back into the presentation. So next important topic, I would say, so the next topic, deployment models. This again, you can see commonly in other clouds also apart from Azure. That's why I didn't name it as Azure in the slide at all. This is the common deployment model. Other cloud providers also follow the same thing. So we have three categories here. One is called infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. So these three models are there. Before getting into this, I want to tell one small story, because if I blindly tell this technical terms, it might be difficult for you to understand. Let's start with a small story. So one of my friend recently had to attend a conference in Bangalore. So it's a one-day conference. So my friend, what he did is he traveled to Bangalore, and it's a one-day conference, right? So he stayed in a hotel, and he attended the conference and he came back. When he stayed in the hotel, what he did is he was using the food, laundry services, whatever it is needed. Like he was using the one from the hotel itself. He didn't do anything additionally. Like he was checking his luggage, he checked in and he checked out. That's what he did, and he paid for whatever services he has used. So that's the one he did. After few days, what he did is the first time my friend went and stayed in a hotel, because it is one day activity, right? So if he felt that that's more than sufficient, so he stayed there. Hotel. After a few days, he got another invite for a training. So this training he has to attend for like 2 months of time. So he is located at Hyderabad, but he has to travel to Bangalore. He alone has to go, like single person is to going. So what he did is, this time he felt that staying at hotel is not the correct option. So what he felt is like, I can stay in a service apartment. So where it is a furnished apartment, I would say, whatever is needed for him, like in terms of theatrical appliance, the kitchen setup, everything was readily available. So my friend felt that, okay, I can stay there for 2 months and I can utilize the service apartment features for my activity. So this is 2 months of stay, right? So what he did is he went and stayed at the service apartment. So what he did is, this time kitchen setup is there, but he has to prepare the food and other things by himself. The other appliances are all there, but he has to take care of the maintenance and in the cleaning activities. He was taking care of those things. Unlike the hotel stay didn't do anything. Okay, cleaning, everything is done by the room service itself. He was just stayed and paid for everything, like whether we use that food service or laundry service, whatever maybe. For that he has paid additionally. Now he came back after the training and he came back to Hyderabad. Now he got a job offer in Bangalore for 2 years of time. So this time what he did, like he's from natively from Hyderabad, he has own house, everything in Hyderabad. So but 2 years of time he has to go and do the job in Bangalore. So this time what he did is, it's a 2 years of time, right? And he rented one apartment. So this is a rented apartment. As it is a rented apartment, they gave only the empty room, I would say. Like it doesn't have anything, it is not furnished at all. So what my friend did is like whatever needed for him in terms of the furniture, electrical appliance, internet connection, whatever, like telephone connection, gas connections, everything my friend has done by himself. So he was like chasing between different vendors and like internet connectivity. He was like following with some other people, get the connection, transfer the names, so many things he was doing there. So now there are three types of accommodation my friend has selected. One is hotel stay. Second one is service apartment stay. It is a furnished apartment. Third one is a rented one. But cost wise, if you look at this, like why he has chosen this option, right? Just think about that. If my friend has to stay in a hotel for 2 years of time, how much he has end up in paying? So that's the reason he didn't want to go into that option. And the same thing on service apartment also, as it is furnished apartment, the rent is going to pay for a plain rented apartment, and the service apartment is going to be different, because in the rented apartment he has taken the family along with him, so obviously like he has to settle down with things and all. Okay, so what he chose it, like I don't want a rented apartment, sorry, service apartment. He want to go with the rented apartment. So cost wise, I would say the rented apartment would be a cheap one when compared to the service apartment. Again, the service apartment would be a better option than the hotel stay, and this hotel stay is the costliest one compared to the other two options. So this is what has happened. So this is the accommodation I'm talking about, right? The same thing I'm going to map it with the three options, the deployment models in the scheme. That is, infrastructure as a service will be equal to my rented apartment option. So which is nothing but, if I want a cloud, if I will say like when you want a cloud service, you can create a subscription, you can go and use it. That's what I'm saying, right? When I want to go and use, say, a simple compute service I want. So I want to run some do some POC, some training I want to do. So I want a compute machine. In compute machine itself, like I have lot of options in Azure itself. I'm telling about Azure, but the same thing applicable for other providers also. What will happen is they are giving three flavors like this to us. That is, hey, whether you want an empty apartment, or you want a furnished apartment, or you want a full service included apartment. So that is your hotel stay. So what they are saying in infrastructure as a service is, you can rent your IT infrastructure. That is, you can use servers and virtual machine, storage, network, everything you can use it. But they won't have any additional features, like you have to go and set up everything. Only the virtual machine you will get it. For your application to run, if you need some software, some additional libraries are there, you have to do by yourself. The cloud provider won't give it. Just they will give one empty room to you. That is one servers or the virtual machines or whichever it is there, right? That alone they will give it. On top of it, if you want some additional features for your application to run, that you have to do by yourself. Second thing, like my service apartment, that is platform as a service. In short, we call it as PaaS. So you won't say platform as a service going forward. PaaS service, we say like this. That is PaaS. So what is this platform as a service is? So it is giving the users to access the component they require for a quick development of your application without worrying about the setup or managing the infrastructure, which is nothing but, if I want one software, say a specific database I need for my application to run. So instead of I get the plain infrastructure and deploying the database, setting up all the required things, what I can do is, there are some PaaS services available. I can go and use it. It is readily available. Setup I don't need to do. I don't need to look for a vendor who will do those installation and setup. I don't need a SME from my team who can handle those installation, patch updates and all. It's all done by Azure itself. And the patch update, maintenance, everything will be done by Azure. If any new version of the software is introduced in the market, then the software upgrade and all, I don't need to really take care. Azure itself will take the ownership. They will do the upgrade. So whichever software they are providing, right? If something needs to be updated and all, I don't need to really follow up like which is the end of the life of the software, what is the validity of the software, when it is going to expire and all. I don't need to care really give importance. It will be done by Azure. So that's a feature they are calling it as platform as a service. So there it is not a plain infrastructure. It will have the additional softwares or the component which is needed for me to do my work. So that we call it as platform. It has the platform itself, readily available platform itself for my application development and testing, and I'm going to utilize it. Finally, the hotel stay. So in hotel stay, everything is like in a single call, I will get it, right? Like if I call that food service, I'll get it into my room. So same thing here also, we have something called software as a service. So here the cloud provider itself will do everything entirely, at least in the platform as a service. Here and there, some update we have to take care, like some maintenance activity will have. But in the software as a service, you don't need to really consider about this hosting or managing of your software application. It is very easy way to use it. So whatever it is needed for your application to run, it will be there. So I like to compare this with another thing, like what is this software as a service? Simple thing, everybody are using it nowadays. In your organization, you would be using the Office 365, right? That emails and all you are using. Those days, like I'm talking about at least a decade back and all, what they will do is every organization will have their own mail servers and all. So what they will do is if some new employee joins in, so they will create a email account and maintenance of their storage, everything as an organization they will take care. It's not a simple process to get an email account. It was a lengthy process those days. But now what is happening is if somebody joins in, they are giving the email address. Account creation part alone my company is doing. The remaining part and all, like the security aspect, how to set the out of office email, how to have this feature like calendar feature, syncing with my chat, all these things are done or inbuilt available in the Office 365 itself. And I don't need to really install the Office 365 in my laptop also. Nowadays, like you can open your browser and type office.com, and if you have the valid user credentials, you can start using it. It made that much of simple. So this is a good example of software as a service, that Microsoft Office 365. So you're not installing in your machine, you're not maintaining it at all. Somebody else is maintaining. What you're doing, you are just creating one user account. So with the username and password, you're opening your browser, you're entering the details, and you're using. Say my student is joining and I want to give an access, means I will give the username and password alone to my student, and my student no need to install anything in the machine. They will open the browser, they will log into that, and they will use like email checking and other things. That is the advantage of the software as a service. The end user doesn't really need to care about how this is installed, how this is maintained, where it is installed. They have no clue about it. They will use the feature alone. So that is called software as a service. The software is readily available for you to use it. You don't need to do any fine tuning and all. As it is, you're going to use. The only thing is you have to create. See, the software Microsoft is giving to us, but the software doesn't know how many employees are there in my company, to whom and all I should give access. Those and all I have to manage as an organization. So that part alone I'll be doing. User management part alone I'll be doing. Which user should have extensive privilege, which user should have least privilege, that and all as an organization I will do. But the remaining things and all, the core part and all will be maintained by Microsoft itself. So that is a feature, we call it as software as a service. Now you would have understand like why I was telling my friend story. That is, infrastructure as a service is equal to the rented apartment example which I told, where I'll be paying less, but I have to put a lot of effort. Platform as a service, I'll be paying little more when compared to infrastructure as a service, but the effort would be less when compared to the infrastructure. Finally, the software as a service, I don't need to put any effort except the user management, that part alone, like where to access, whether I should give the privilege to use it in mobile, whether the email my employee can open in the website or the browser. So those things alone I have to take care. The remaining fact and all owned by the cloud provider itself, but I'll be paying extra. So this is what I was like exactly comparing with my friend's accommodation thing. So now you know I have three models, that is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. So infrastructure, plain environment, nothing would be there to you, a plain infrastructure. Platform as a service will have the platform which is needed for your development, readily available platform. So on top of the platform, you have to write your code, your application code. So something as a base would be there. The core base would be there. On top of it, what application you want to develop, whether you want to develop a web application or desktop application, it's purely up to you. But whatever software or the underlying platform needed for my development, everything would be there already in that infrastructure. That we call it as platform as a service. Software as a service, I don't need to really care about the application installation also. They will have the underlying software, they will develop the application. Okay, finally I have to give it to the end user. That part alone I have to take care. All other things and all will be managed by the cloud provider itself. So these are the three options I have. So again, I'm projecting one screen. If you would have seen this screen prior, you won't have understand. Now after this discussion, you itself can understand what is this screen stands for. This is applicable for all the cloud providers. So you will get a questions on this previous slide and this slide. So that's the reason like I'm showing this. So let's have like decode what exactly these things are all meant for. This color coding is meant for like the responsibility. Okay, this is the responsibility share of the three models along with the on-premises, because on-premises also some organizations are adopting, right? So we are going to do a comparison of how the responsibility are shared between the cloud provider, that is Azure is the one who is giving the service to me and I am the one who is using. So it is between the customer and the provider. So customer will have the color coding of dark shade, and Microsoft, that is Azure, will have the shade of this light shade. Wherever we both of us have some responsibility, right, there we have this combination of two. So these are the things. And the responsibility wise, let's quickly go through this. That is, when I want to set up my business, there are some set of activity I'll be doing. Okay, those activity I am highlighting here. That is, first I'll be setting up my data center. That is, I will uh, either I will rent or I will buy one building or a floor. So that I have to do. Then I have to set the physical network, that is in my internet connectivity, all the networks, routers, those things and all I'll be taking care. Okay, this is the step number two. So first I will have the data center, the physical data center, the building I would say. And second thing is my network. And third thing is I should have the physical server in place. I should keep all those. So host and all, like you will buy the servers and other things. Then once you have the servers in place, you will do the OS installation. So which operating system you are preferring, Windows or Linux. So those things you will be doing. Then the network connectivity between those machines. So there are two network. One is your physical network, the other one is your internal, that is network controls and all. How these two servers should connect and where this server should connect. So those things you'll do. Then what you will do is you will have your actual application deployed. Say your organization is running one online shopping app, so that you will install. HR department has some employee related application that you will install. Finance department has some payroll information application, those and all you will install. And then you will have like identity wise, like who should access, how they should access this accounts, identities and all, you will take care. Finally, where this application and all should be accessed. Sometimes you will make the application as website, like you can use a web URL and you will access it. Sometimes it is accessed in the mobile as an app kind of thing. Finally, the data. What type of data you are going to use, whether it is a finance data or company data or an employee data. So these are the things I should, like overall I say responsibility to run a business at a high level. So these activities we discussed, right? Now we are going to discuss the responsibility. Who is going to take what responsibility? Let's see on the on-premises. In on-premises, undoubtedly, from bottom to top, everything the customer. That is, if I'm running a business, I have to take care. There is no option at all. Like it's not like I have to give it to somebody. Like somebody will take care of this. No. In if I'm the owner of business, I have to take care. So I have to connect or I have to delegate this to my teammates or bring in some vendors, third parties. So all these things have to take care. If in case the infrastructure as a service, I told right, a rented IT infrastructure, that is a plain infrastructure I will get, right? In that case, these three is from cloud provider. That is Microsoft is going to give me these three options. That is software as a service, platform as a service, and the infrastructure as a service. In this model, what will happen is the bottom three option, that is the physical data center related thing, that is getting one building, doing this network connectivity, installing that host and all, this and all will be done by the cloud provider itself. That is Azure itself will give me. But operating system maintenance, your network aspect, what application I'll be running, who and all will be accessing, where it will be accessed, what data it will use, these things and all will be done by the business owner. So the only thing is, as I told, they will give only the empty apartment to us, right? The same thing, the rented IT infrastructure alone, you will get it. The remaining things and all, you have to take care. Okay. So that is the responsibility share. You can see the bottom light shades. These are the one maintained by Microsoft. The top most responsibilities and all, that is from operating system to the infrastructure, that is data. These and all will be done from the end user only, that is the business owners. You are a company owner, whichever language you take. Next thing is platform as a service. In platform as a service, what I told, you will have the platform for you to build your application, but it's up to you whether you are building a web application or desktop application, right? So what they are doing is they are giving this physical host and also they are giving the operating system also to me. And these 3 points I told, right, like these are all related to my application aspect only, but still they are sharing the responsibility. For my application to run, if I need a specific jar, a specific software, that will be available, that will be maintained by Azure. And some of the network controls and all will be maintained by Azure, and this identity also will be shared by Azure. So here I would say the bottom four tasks will be completely done by Azure, but the middle three, it is like shared between the customer and the Azure, but the top three would be completely from the customer end, because the top three is truly depend upon where I should run my application. This is my business need, right? I might be thinking that I should run my business only in the website based one, or I need it in the app also. What data I should use? These are all purely my own decision. Azure cannot take a decision here, because it will vary from customer to customer. Company A will have different set of requirement, company B will have different set of requirements. So they cannot create customized one. They will create a platform and keep it ready. So on top of the platform, whatever it is needed, we can customize. So that's a one like the platform as a service. Finally, software as a service, that's why I say like everything, it's a hotel stay. Everything is readily available. You have to go check in, check out, that's it. So here you will have all these things, okay, even application also, because Office 365, even the application is developed by Microsoft. You are not developing it. So they will develop everything, they will hand it over to you, but it's up to you where you are using, how you are using. So Office 365, you can use it in your mobile or you can use it in your web form also. So your company will have some rules and regulation in place. They will streamline that my employees can use this app in their mobile, or they will say no, only in the company laptop they have to use it. It's truly your own decision. So in that place they are not controlling, Microsoft is not controlling you, they are giving the liberty to you. You can take the decision on this layer, that is how you are going to access your application, but application would be developed and maintained by Microsoft. So this is called software as a service. So now you come to know what exactly this responsibility, right? Like it is like a shared between Microsoft, and it's also shared between customer. Here and there is some sharing will happen, okay, and the other things, it's truly with the customer or it's truly with the cloud provider. So now let me share the screen again and see like what are the topics I have covered, like few more questions from certificate perspective. Let me see what are the topics I have covered. Okay, I think yeah. So this we have paid as discussed yesterday, right? That is which type of cloud deployment model is described as cloud infrastructure used exclusively by a single organization. So this is the keyword. So this we have discussed yesterday. That is, these are the four options we have: public cloud, private, hybrid, and community. And this is the keyword. They are asking which type corresponds to a single organization. The answer is private cloud, because private cloud, why we are going is they don't want to share with other organization. They want a dedicated infrastructure for a single organization. That's the reason they are going for a private. So this again we have discussed yesterday. So this is the answer. Option B is the answer. And next question. What does the pay as you go model in cloud computing mean? So they are asking what does this term mean? So they have given four options to you. That is, you only pay for the resource you actually use. That is, whatever you have utilized, that only you are going to pay. Second option is you pay for the set number of resource in advance. You are going to pay something in advance. That is option number two. So and third is you are billed at a flat rate. So irrespective of what you are using or not using, you will have a flat rate. Like every month you will be paying a fixed amount. So that's what they're saying. And finally, you pay a fixed cost for unlimited resource. So that's what they're saying. Like in internet connections and all, or the mobile phone voice connections and all, our providers are giving an option, right? Unlimited calls, unlimited SMS. So every month you will be paying some money. So that is the option. So now all four options we have seen. So, but in Azure, there is no such concept. They are using this pay as you go means whatever you have used for that you are going to pay. There is no flat rate. This particular meaning, it doesn't mean like a flat rate. The answer is A. You only pay for the resource you actually use. Okay. So what else we have covered so far? So this one also they covered. Which of the following is not a cloud service model? So they've given four options to us: infrastructure as a service, PaaS, SaaS, DaaS. Okay. So just now we have went through those information. That is the answer, which is not they're asking. So obviously the answer is DAS. So DAS is not a option for a cloud service model. We have only three model, which is infrastructure as a service, PaaS, and SaaS. Okay, and one more question also. Let's see, which of the following describe software as a service? So just now we have seen, like, let's see what are the options they have given. The cloud provider manages the infrastructure, runtime, and operating system. So they are saying that that Azure itself is going to manage infra, runtime, and operating system. So that's what they are saying. The user can deploy custom application on virtual machine. What they are saying that virtual machine, that is one empty machine, will be provided, and you have to install your application. So that is the point number two. And the third one is the provider host application and the user access them over the internet. That is, Azure is going to deploy the application, and as a user you are going to use it over the internet. So that is point number three. And finally, the user manage both infrastructure and platform. What they're saying is, as the end user, you have to manage the infrastructure, you have to manage the platform. That's what they are saying. So now you got an answer, that is, out of these four, the point number three is the answer, because you are not going to host the application. The provider is going to deploy this. They are the one who has developed the Office 365, that application software, everything. They are owning it. You are going to open that website in your internet, that is in your browser over internet, and you are going to use. So the correct answer is option C. Okay, so this is how your certification question is going to be. So it won't be difficult, or I would say complex and all. If you regularly listen to our conversations, you can attend those things. So yes, now let us go to the next topic. Time permits, we will cover the next topic also. Yes, geography. So even before going to geography, I like to show something. Like yesterday I was showing you, why Azure has become famous in the market is because of this feature. Azure is investing a lot in this area. So I hope my screen is visible. Yes, you can see something in my screen, right? So this is a data center view of Azure. So in the across the globe, you can see lot of dots here, right? So in Mexico, you have something called Mexico Central, and so when we are talking about this globe, why Azure has become famous is just because of this feature, that is, it has a data center across the globe. You can ask me that what is the meaning of across the globe? What a benefit I'm going to get? The very simple thing is, if you have a data center near to you, you are running a business, and if you are going to see, Azure is having data center in India and also in US. If you are the person like who is running the business from US, then it is good to use a data center for your business from US location itself. There are two important things. First of all, when you use a data center which is near to you, you will have a good performance. There won't be much latency and all. You will have a good performance. That is point number one. Second and important point is, every country is following their own rules and policies or compliance. They have like some clients we have came across, what they told us, they don't want to store their information in different countries. That is, a US based company, if they are running an application, means they want to save those data only inside US. They don't want to store their data in some other country. So they have a strict rules and regulation in place. They don't want to violate it. In that case, it is better to use the data center in US itself instead of going for a different location. That's the reason Azure has become famous in the market, because they have, you can see how many dots are scattered in my screen, right? They have data center across the globe in different locations. In US itself, you can see lot of options. So in terms of this compliance wise, in terms of your industry wise, lot of options they have, and you don't need to really worry about like how you going to use it. So if you look at this is called geography. Okay, you can see something called region and all, right? So when you click on this geography, for every country, you can go and check. Like, let me show the sample from US itself. Okay, so when I select this geography as US, you have the subcategories called region. That is, US itself, Azure is categorizing that as central US, east US, and in east US itself they have like three options: east US, east US 2, US 3. And in central itself, already I showed you central US, right? Apart from that, they have something called north central, south central, and you have the west central too. So four categories are there in central itself. Again, in the west, you can see they have west, west 2, west 3. So they have lot of classification, and under each, say in central US, where and all they are having, you can see the regional thing, like where they have it, which locations they have it. They have different availability zone. That is, in the central US itself, they have lot of locations where these are all scattered. Like, it is not they are going to keep it in a single location in central US. In central US itself, they are keeping, that is, different buildings they are keeping, different cities they are keeping. So you can see that is called your availability zone. So you can see available in 3 zones. So it is not only the availability zones, they have a DR plan also configured properly. That is, for every availability zone, they will have a DR configure. That is, so location they are saying low. This location is there for Virginia, for example. I'm taking, okay. This is East US, and you can see what are the industry compliance they are following, like which and all industry they can use it. All this industry informations you can see, and you will have a disaster. That is, for Virginia, they will have a backup in some other place also. So that informations also you can see. So regional compliance they are following here, and it was opened in the year of 2014 and stored. That is, in United States itself, they will have those informations, and the products, that what are the things it will support. It's like Azure has a lot of product. Like, what are the products it supports? You can see it in the list. So it will display by the region. This particular screen will tell me like what are the products I can use it in a specific region, which is available, which is not available, I can see. And the disaster recovery I told, right? If something goes wrong in Virginia, like, it doesn't mean that I will miss everything. Okay, I will have the backup in some other place. So those informations are all configured for me. So ideally, in US itself, that is in geography of US, I have categories called the, what it is, region: east, central, west. So a lot of region categories I have. Even in the region, I have something called availability zones. So three different places are picked up in each and every region, and there I will have my information. That is, my primary would be there. And if something goes wrong with the primary, it doesn't mean that I will miss everything about my business, no data loss, because I have the disaster also planned for me. And I have a detailed instruction that in that particular region, you can ask me that why there are a lot of information, because if you look at this, everything is in East US, if I say, but different locations they have selected, and different policies they are following. So I can choose the one which is near to me. At the same time, I will choose the one which is following the compliance for my organization. So I can go and pick up those things. So this is the difference between geography, region, and availability zone. So United States is my geography, and region is nothing but my east, west, central, and all. And availability zone is nothing but in central US itself, I have three different place chose, like three different physical centers or data centers are available. And in central, I said, like, east US itself, I have different. East US 2, I have different option. East US 3, I have different option. So that we call it as availability zones. Okay, so this difference we should know when you're discussing about this um, geography and this region, and finally the availability zone. Okay, so now let me take you into the slide. Now you can understand like what I was actually mentioning. So now in the screen you can see in India, US, Europe, and all, this is called geography. Every geography will have multiple regions. Like I showed an example of US, right? You have US East, West, and Central, and every region will have different availability zone, and every availability zone will have different data center, which is nothing but in different place it has selected, right? Then it will have, I would say these are all cities, and in different cities, like, you will have different buildings. It's not like only one data center you will have an availability zone. So in Virginia, like, there are three zones, and the three zone will have multiple data centers individually. So now you see how many places we have the Azure data centers available. So that's the reason it is like used widely, and we are like having good performance. We are having good compliance. So yeah. So now let me see if there is any question from region. With this, we can end our today's session. Anything on region? Okay. Yeah, region. So what is this region? What is cloud region? Again, I'm saying this is not only for Azure. If you go for AWS also, same concept. A geographical location with multiple data center. Okay, this is not the one, right? So sorry, this is the one. A geographical location with multiple data center. The next one is a management boundary for all Azure service. No, a service offering to developers. So region is not the service. Okay, it's not. It's a location, a geographical location. A network security protocol. No, this is purely a location information where you are running your services. Okay, so this is the one, and with this I'm